Hello Pisces, this is Adrian Igo, Capricorntigress, with Astrology, a look inside. And I have rushed to hurry up and make this video because I have a unique situation I have where the sun comes in on me, and when I make the videos it will completely wash me out. And so I feel like I've been in a rush, or trying to get to Pisces before I lose the ability to be seen well in this light, because it's getting lighter and lighter, and I've been at this for about 4 or 5 hours now. So let's go ahead and get this done. Okay, so the emphasis in the month of August for Pisces is falling basically in the 6th house, the 6th and 7th houses. It's going to start out with the emphasis in the 6th house, as it's been since the sun's been in the sign of Leo, and that Leo is in your solar 6th house, and the north node is in Leo, and your Mercury is retrograde in Leo, and it is in your 6th house of work. So I'm wondering how this Mercury retrograded in Leo is affecting your work life, because you've got Neptune in the 1st house right now. Neptune is in Pisces, which Pisces is the natural ruler of natural sign of Neptune. Neptune likes being in Pisces. Okay, so it's not bad that it's in Pisces, but the thing is that it makes you kind of otherworldly. It makes you forget things or forgetful. It makes it, sometimes you might have confusion about things, or people may be confused about what you're saying and what you're doing. Because in your mind, it's perfectly, it all makes sense, right? But someone else might say, hey, this doesn't make any sense to me. And this is what happens when Neptune is sitting in the 1st house like that. So you might be getting some of that vibe back from people. But here's the funny thing. In the month of August, on the 19th of August, Neptune is going to trine Jupiter. There's going to be a Jupiter-Neptune trine. And it's going to happen August 19th at 3:44 a.m. and it's going to happen at 15 degrees and 36 seconds of, we've got Neptune in Pisces, and we've got Jupiter in Scorpio, and that Jupiter is up in your solar 9th house, and that Neptune is in your 1st house. So the 9th house rules things like religion and dogma and politics and travel. Your in-laws are indicated there if you have any, but things like all the legal things, government and politics and stuff like that. And this is a politic time. It's really, there's a lot of people making votes right now, so that might be foremost on your mind. I'm not sure, but that kind of looks like a trine would be a positive thing. Whatever happens between your 9th house and your 1st house on the 19th of August, even though it's a Neptune and is retrograde, because there are some retrogrades going on there, but it's still a positive, not a negative, so that's a good thing. So let's look at some of these other things going on in your chart here. You will have the moon in your 2nd house of money on Chiron. That's in Aries on the 1st, and I've been mentioning that because I think that the moon on Chiron is going to be something interesting. I just wonder how it's going to affect your 2nd house of money, and I hope things go well for you tomorrow. Taurus has Uranus in it, and it's been there for a few now, but it's a few weeks, but it's about to retrograde out of Taurus. It's almost like we got a taste of what Uranus would be like in Taurus, and now after we got that brief taste of Uranus and Taurus, it's going to retrograde back into Aries, and it'll be doing that soon. Let me see what day that is. I believe, yeah, retrogrades on the 7th. By the way, on the 6th of August, Venus is going to enter Libra, and that's important. Oh, let's see what we can do about that. So that's important because I am so sorry about this here. We're just going to let that go because I'm not answering that.
Hey, it's Adrian. I'm not available.
This is so embarrassing. Oh my, they never leave a message, so it really doesn't matter. See? Look, that's why I don't answer it. By the way, if you ever call my house, because my phone number rings to my house, even my business number rings to my house. If you call my house, leave a message. If I don't know you, I probably won't pick up, because I don't pick up for people I don't know or recognize. But if you just say, hey, this is John, and I'm calling because you said you knew something about Pisces, and I'll go, hello. That's how it works. There are people like that who call and never leave messages, and they irritate me, and so now I don't pick up on the first ring. I wait until someone leaves a message. So there's a reason, I guess, this happened during the reading. So I'm going to keep it in here because I thought that was interesting that just happened, and I got to tell my little story about that. So anyway, we were talking about the Uranus retrograde. I believe I was talking about and Venus and Libra. And Libra is up in your 8th house. So that's other people's money. It's in Virgo now, and that's in the partnership area of your life. And so it's kind of pleasant when it's in Virgo, but it's going to be going into Libra, which will be even more pleasant because there won't be any potential for an opposition there. And it's also going to rule things like taxes and insurances and deep psychological things when Venus is there. But it's positive because Venus is a positive, beneficial planet, and so it should be a positive experience. You'll have Jupiter in Scorpio, which is trine your sun and, as I mentioned, or your solar first house. And as I mentioned, that's in the 9th house, and that trine is going to be beautiful. On the 11th, there is going to be a new moon with a partial eclipse in Leo at 18 degrees and 42 seconds. And that Leo is falling in your 6th house of work. There's that Mercury is retrograde there, and the sun is there, and the North Node is there. And that's all happening in your 6th house. So now we're going to have this new moon and this partial solar eclipse happening in the 6th house. And I think that's really it's highlighting your career. I mean, even with Mercury retrograde, that's about to go direct too, by the way, because Mercury goes direct on the 19th of August. And I think once Mercury goes direct on the 19th of August, I really believe that it's all full steam ahead with your work and your health, and things like that should really start improving for you greatly, in fact. So I do think you're going to have a good experience with that. And then I also wanted to discuss the fact that there is Saturn and Pluto in your 11th house in Capricorn, because those planets are sextile Pisces, and they're actually usually a positive experience when you have the sextiles. Pluto means that you're going to have some form of power or and Saturn in the 11th house, some form of power, I think, or responsibility when it comes to organizations or groups, or among your friends or associates that I just see you taking on a position of power or there, maybe. Now, Mars is retrograding, like I think I have mentioned this earlier, but Mars is going to be retrograding out of Aquarius, which is in your 11th house, and going back into the sign of Capricorn, which is your 10th house. So if there's anything that you needed to finish off with your career area, this would be the time to do it. So this is your quick reading for the month of August, but let me go through and just give you a rundown of some of the other things that are happening in the month of August. On the 12th, Mars retrogrades in Capricorn. As I mentioned, the 19th, Mercury goes direct at 11 degrees. On the 19th, Jupiter is trine Neptune at 15 degrees, which we discussed. On the 23rd, the Sun enters Virgo, which we also discussed, because that means the emphasis is going to go from your 6th house into your 7th house of partnerships. And that's really a good thing with Venus that was there in the beginning. Maybe there's somebody on the horizon, or maybe you've got something, positive, hopefully, that will happen in your marriage or in your partnerships, business partnerships. Let's just hope that Sun emphasis in Virgo isn't because it's opposed Pisces. So, even though it can rule partnerships or a marriage or your opposites can also mean open enemies. So let's hope there's no enemy or animosity that comes because the Sun is sitting there opposite where you are. On let's see, and on the 26th, because on the 23rd the Sun goes into Virgo, and on the 26th there's a full moon in Pisces, which will be right in your solar first house. So that's going to be affecting some of the Pisces that are born early on, and that will be a full moon, and so you could be really emotional that day. August 27th, the Mars goes direct at 28 degrees of Capricorn, which we discussed. That's going to go back into your solar 10th house. So maybe you can get some things, redo some things that you didn't do the first time when it was in your 10th house, and grab onto some of that spotlight that you missed the first time. And I would think there is some spotlight. I mean, Jupiter's trining Pisces right now. It's right in the middle of Pisces. So it should be affecting many people on both sides of that 15 degrees. This is your time, Pisces. Take advantage of that beautiful trine that you guys have. Not everyone is got that beautiful, lovely trine happening from Jupiter, and then it's going to trine Neptune right there in your solar first house. This is a good month for you, Pisces. So take advantage of it, and do all you can before the 23rd when it goes into Virgo, because then it's Virgo season, and that's going to be in your 7th house, which will be good for your marriage, but not as good for you. You might feel that you need a little bit more energy, but we'll talk about that next month. Okay, Pisces, it has been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you. I'm so glad you can see me and the sun held up there. Much love and much light to all of you, and I hope that you take the time to come and join me at astrologyalookinside.com. Okay, have a great day and a great month. Okay, bye.